got him a 2026 quarterback. He was still playing in the college playoffs. He picked up TCU's Josh Hoover.
Oh, no, he was. It's remarkable. Hey, thank you for the call, Mark. Unfortunately, we're heading to the break here. I apologize for not being able to finish that thought, but we do have another hour to go.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-9087, 800-575-9087. That's 800-575-9087, or simply visit TRA.com.
This is Paul Feinbaum. That'll do it for me today. Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports, and it's brought to you by Vector Security Champions Lane, the best pregame fan fest in college football. For more information, visit championslane.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. Here are thoughts from baseball head coach Rob Vaught after the Crimson Tide swept North Florida this weekend.
Yeah, good weekend. Good one today. Kind of weird preparation. We hit inside. I kind of met with our team in the clubhouse before BP today because it felt like, for you that were here last year, like Presbyterian 2.0 a little bit. You know, you kind of have two pretty successful games and you have rain and you're not sure if you're going to start on time. You're hitting inside. It was just a recipe to be kind of sluggish today. And offensively, man, we were okay. We walked a lot early. We controlled the strike zone a lot early. But the quickest way to make sure you're not sluggish is when you throw the ball like he did on the mound. I mean, just kind of smothered him. Just a 180 from last week. And I kind of bragged about his poise and all that stuff out here. But that's what makes him good, man. Like, it's the moment's not too big. It's not trying to do extra.
I'll have more in moments.
Tide fans, are you ready for game day in Tuscaloosa? Don't miss the ultimate pregame experience this season at Vector Security Champions Lane. Opening 4 hours before each home game, this fan fest has everything you need to get pumped for kickoff. Located next to the Walk of Champions, you'll enjoy live music, player autographs, the best food trucks from all over Alabama, and ice-cold beer in our Legends Lounge beer garden, where there's never a cover charge. Check out championslane.com each week for the latest updates. Roll Tide!
We've got you covered tonight for Alabama baseball against Troy. First pitch from Sewell Thomas Stadium is scheduled for 6 p.m. Central, with our coverage on the network starting at 5:45 p.m. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Vector Security Champions Lane. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Tom Abraham here for my longtime friend Mike Owen of Owen Home Appliance. You know, Mike has over 25 years experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance prides themselves on community involvement as well, sponsoring local teams and events while making sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. Visit their highly interactive showroom in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river on 231.
Welcome to Kern Electrical, where teamwork powers every project. Our champion sales team takes time to understand your needs, tailoring the perfect Generac generator for your home or business. Our project managers handle all coordination, ensuring a tackle-free installation. Our certified installation crews ensure peace of mind, even in the darkest moments. With our service and maintenance lineups, you can be assured we're with you every step of the way. Experience the home team advantage of Kern Electrical, your Generac superstore.
Most current way to keep your power on. GeneracSuperstore.com.
I'm Abraham here for Valley Equipment Rental. You know, if you're a contractor installing fences, you need Valley Equipment Rental for augers of all sizes. And if you need a forklift to get those shingles up high on a roof, Valley Equipment has 10K lifts that reach to 56 feet. Valley also has tow-behind lifts that have a working height of 35 to 55 feet as well for power washing those two-story homes or doing whatever else you need to do. Lifts, forklifts, tow-behind lifts, 35 feet and up. They have your lift at Valley Equipment Rental. 2 locations, North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental.
Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Lynn Leighton Ford, located online at lynnleightonford.com. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Welcome in. It is another edition of The Drive. Along with Wes Neighbors, Steve Moulton here with you. Tomorrow starts off the SEC basketball tournament, and that coverage will start tomorrow at 11:15. The evening session will start at 5:45, but we've got a guest right out of the gate. How are you, Wes Neighbors?
Doing good.
We've got a special guest, first-time guest, and it was an honor to talk to our next guest just over the weekend, as Coach Charlie Weiss is kind enough to join us right out of the gate. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing fine. Just remember, this is Charlie Weiss's dad.
Well, funny you go.
I used to be Charlie Weiss. Now I'm just the bum that's, the father of Charlie, Coach Charlie Weiss.
Funny you go there, Coach, because honestly, one of the bigger stories during the playoffs was your son of what Ole Miss was able to do. And I've got 2 dads of, well, I guess, and now Charlie's at LSU now, but, Wes's son is the secondary coach at Ole Miss as well. What a magical run for Ole Miss.
Yeah, I was really happy, not only for Ole Miss, but I was happy for Charlie because it was a very trying time. One thing when I've been a head coach and I've been an assistant, and they're not the same jobs and not the same responsibilities. And, Charlie, for about 3 weeks there, if people knew what he was doing, they would be amazed because he literally would be in Oxford at from 5 in the morning till about 5 in the afternoon, hop on a plane, fly to Baton Rouge, recruit till about 11 o'clock, get on a plane, and fly back to Oxford.
That's crazy.
I mean, you think about it.
That's crazy.
It's just so,
you said 3 weeks? That's, man.
Coach, our sons have been together a lot for most of their career. That's what's amazing. From being at Coach Saban, I think I sat with you in a box for the spring or scrimmage for the spring game, one of the two, and then for this to go on at FAU and then at Ole Miss is really and at Alabama. So when you look at what Lane does and your son is doing, how does that? What makes that train go? Because they have been very successful every time they've been together.
Well, the number one thing that they do is they tailor the offense to the players they have, not the other way around.
Yeah.
And it all starts with what the quarterback is capable of doing. So, too many coaches, have all these brilliant ideas, but if the players can't handle them, it doesn't do you any good. So they'll see who they have, the talent they have, and it's not just the intelligence, but the football intelligence that people have. and then they'll adjust their offense accordingly. I mean, now, both Lane and Charlie are very good schematically, but I think that the thing they do the best is put their players, utilize the skills of their players and put them in a position to win.
I mean, it sounds simple, Coach, but it's been very effective. As Wes mentioned it, FAU, 2 titles down there, 2 conference titles, and there's no doubt just the level of success that Ole Miss has had under Lane Kiffin. This is why LSU wanted him so bad.
Lane is obviously a unique character. Okay, he's unique. He's been able to adjust. He's 50 years old, but he's been able to adjust to the social media world that the players now live in. So when you're a good football coach, you're experienced, but yet you know how to play the game in social media with the players, it gives you a fighting chance against everybody.
When did you know you wanted to be a coach, Coach?
Actually, I wanted to be a sports announcer. I really did. I wanted to be a sports announcer. And when I graduated, I went to Notre Dame. And when I graduated, I got offered a job with WNDU, Channel 16 in South Bend, Indiana, for $6,000 a year. And I got offered a job out in industry with Ford Motor Company for basically $40,000 a year. So I said, $6,000, $40,000. $6,000, well, I'll take the 40. But after 1 year, I was bored. I got certified to teach while I was in college just as a backup. And I started teaching and coaching in high school. And I went from high school to college to the pros, to college to the pros, but it all started with wanting to be a sports announcer.
Wow. Did you ever call any games? Did you ever, just put a game on a tape to just, try it out?
It's really not that difficult to do that. The problem is, once you become a football coach, you become too analytical. So when you're watching a football game, instead of overanalyzing the game, people just want to hear the game. They sometimes announcers talk too much. Like, shut up and let us watch the game. How many times have you watched the game? You say, you please shut up. I can't tell you how many times. I usually watch the game with the sound off. And fortunately, at this stage of my career, I'm only a fan once a week. I watch all the college and pro football games, but I'm only a fan when Charlie's team plays. That's the only time I'm a fan. So I'm like everyone else. I'm throwing popcorn at the TV. I'm saying, what a stupid call. I'm like everyone else once a week. But the rest of the time, I just watch the games. Just quietly watch the game. And what would I have done there? I wonder what he was thinking there. That's what I do.
So, this is fascinating to me, Coach. So, especially the run in the playoffs, especially the Georgia win in the Sugar Bowl there for Ole Miss. What did you think of the game plan? And honestly, the precision offensively that Ole Miss played with against Georgia in the Sugar Bowl?
Well, I obviously talked to my kid. I'm very close with my kid, and he believed that they were going to win the game. Now, a lot of fans don't think like that, but I usually start with what he thinks. And when he goes, Dad, I don't think they're going to be able to stop us again. Because you remember the first time they played Georgia at Georgia, the first 5 drives were touchdowns.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They scored 5 in a row, 5 touchdowns. Now, they screwed it up in the fourth quarter, okay, but they had guys wide open in that quarter, too, if you go back and watch the game.
Sure.
But he didn't think Georgia was going to be able to stop them. He thought that they'd be able to score enough to win. And the defense helped in that game, and they scored enough to win. But when he says to me, this is going to be a tough one, I'm a lot more concerned when he goes, Dad, I don't think they could stop us.
Did he say it's going to be a tough one against Miami?
He thought that they were better. They were going to be better on defense. He thought that they would score. They could score enough to win, not they would score enough to win.
Gotcha.
No, he didn't think that Miami was going to shut them down either. I mean, and think about it. Miami scores with 19 seconds to go to win the game.
Yeah. And we still almost, it should have been interference anyway.
I don't know if the last play should have been called pass interference or not.
I do,
but
Coach.
It obviously was pass interference.
Yeah.
But they very seldom call that play. But even if it is, you still have to score on the next play anyway. So when you give up a touchdown with 19 seconds to go to give up the lead, you usually end up losing.
How good of a quarterback is Trinidad Chambliss?
Well, I mean, you got to go by what you see, right?
Yeah.
And back in training camp, it was kind of funny because after the scrimmages, he called and said, "Well, okay, how'd Simmons look?" He goes, "Yeah, he looked good. He looked good. Here's his stats for the day." He goes, "Dad, you can't believe this backup kid." I said, "What do you mean, the Division II kid?" I mean, he actually had everyone's attention in training camp. It wasn't just like they weren't afraid when he had to go in the game. No one was rooting for Austin not to be playing, but they were not afraid when they put him in. So I don't know if anyone could have seen, what ended up happening. Him being as good as he was, but it wasn't like they were afraid. I mean, I recall back earlier in my career, we had this young quarterback by the name of Tommy Brady.
Yeah.
That Bledsoe got hurt. We put him in there, and no one knew what we had. I didn't know what he had. No one knew what we had. But by the end of the year, he's winning the Super Bowl. So sometimes when you see talent in a guy, you're hoping he's on the come, and sometimes it happens a lot faster than you were counting on.
How about the developmental curve there for Tom Brady, since you go there, Coach, of how quickly did Tom get it in your world?
Well, by the middle of his first playing year, which is second year in the league, we really started expanding what we did on offense. When he first went in, we were dicking and dunking and playing very conservative and basically playing to our defense. People don't play complementary football very much anymore, but we knew the strength of our team was our defense. So we felt that sometimes punting was a good thing. It wasn't necessarily a bad thing. But by the end of the year, we're going 2 minutes with less than a minute 20 to go on our own 17-yard line with no timeouts to win the Super Bowl. So obviously, in that first year of playing, he went. He grew an awful lot.
Jeez, and then a couple of years later, you were involved in a tuck rule game there.
No, that wasn't a couple of years later. That was that year.
It wasn't that year. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that was our first playoff game that we played that year against the Raiders.
Gotcha.
We played against the Raiders, and I mean, an incomplete pass. I don't know what the big deal is. I mean, everyone's supposed to play. An incomplete pass. People are still whining about it. The rule is the rule. Now, you might not agree with the rule, but the rule is the rule. It's an incomplete pass.
100%.
But it just that run in particular with Coach Belichick as well. Have you had time to reflect on that now that you've been out of coaching for over a decade now, Coach?
Yeah, I'll tell you a funny story there. We went 21 in a row. Okay, we went on a run and we went 21 in a row. And we go play. We're going up the next year. We're playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're undefeated early, midway through the year, and we go to Pittsburgh Steelers. We're really stout on defense, and our game plan was to pound them inside to set up play action passes. That was basically the game plan. And in pregame, our starting running back, pulls a hamstring. So now I have to use Kevin Falk as my starting running back instead of our complimentary running back. Well, anyway, to make a long story short, we got approximately. We lost. It was like 48-24 or something like that, or 42-28. It was they crushed us that day. So I get on the bus after the game, and I call home. I call my wife, and my wife goes, "Wait a second, your son wants to talk to you." And he goes, so my son gets on the phone. And he goes, "Dad, that was an embarrassment. We had just won 21 games in a row. We were Super Bowl champs." He goes, "That was an embarrassment." He goes, How can you guys play like that? That's embarrassing.
Your time will come, right? Hopefully not soon.
Seriously. You mentioned about the differences from coordinator to head coach. Anything prep you for that? Or is it just hang on and just take it as it comes?
Well, it depends on where you are, okay? For example, I was a head coach at Notre Dame and I was a head coach at Kansas. So two totally different environments. Not only the expectations different, but what the game plan, you had to be. But in both cases, when I took the job wanting to do things what I felt were the right way. And when you do them the right way, it takes 5 or 6 years to get it right. Well, in the coaching fraternity, 5 or 6 years is like an eternity. People don't want to wait 5 or 6 years for you to do it right.
Yeah.
But the one good thing, when you're a coordinator, you don't have to deal with all the other crap that the head coach has to deal with. I mean, you just have to worry about coaching half the team, and basically your job isn't to deal with all the problems. Your job is to get the team ready to play football. Well, the head coach doesn't get that luxury. The head coach is the guy who's getting woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning because somebody was at the bars. The head coach is, the head coach is dealing with academicians. The head coach is dealing with all the problems, the alumni, fundraisers, all that stuff. The coordinators, you just worry about coaching ball. I mean, coordinators is a 10 times better job than a head coach. You just get paid a lot less money.
Did you ever want to be an NFL head coach?
I was offered head jobs in the NFL, but at the time, I chose Notre Dame over a head job in the NFL, and then while I was at Notre Dame, I could have gotten head jobs in the NFL, and I'd gone to Notre Dame. I didn't go to Notre Dame to be there for 5 years and get fired.
Yeah,
I went to Notre Dame with the intent that I'd be there for 20 years and retire. And when you do that, that's what you go for, then that's what you should plan on. I hope that if my son, I know he really prefers being an offensive coordinator over a head coach, but I hope that if he takes a head coaching job, is that a place where he could be there for 20 years? I really do. I hope he can go somewhere where he just stays there for the rest of his career. He's got 3 young kids and a wife. I hope he goes somewhere they can become part of the environment and the community, and they stay in one place for the rest of his life. That's what I dream for him.
Wow.
Coach, I took my kids to your camp at Notre Dame.
They probably really enjoyed it because we actually worked.
Oh yeah, they did enjoy it. Yeah, oh yeah. I flew up there and took Connor and Wesley to your camp. I spent the night at the hotel there at Notre Dame, and the only other time I'd been, I went with Mal Moore when they inducted my dad in the Hall of Fame, and it used to be up there. And I say that was like going with Norm with Cheers. I mean, everybody they would be driving around on golf carts. The next thing they know, that all the priests were all over Mal Moore. It was hilarious.
Well, I have a daughter with special needs. I built a community for people with special needs. She lives at the community in South Bend.
Wow.
Named after her. Her name is Hannah. The name of the neighborhood is called Hannah and Friends. But I'm actually flying up on Sunday to go see her, and then I'm going to Lou Holtz's funeral on Monday, and I'll come back on Tuesday.
Wow. So, how well did you know Coach Holtz since you went there, Coach?
I knew him well enough. Probably one of the best things I did when I got to Notre Dame. Holtz had not been back to Notre Dame in over a decade. When I got the head coaching job, and having been an alum of the school and knowing the history of the school, I just didn't feel that was right. So what I did is I had a spring game where I had Eric Orshegan and Lou Holtz as the coaches, and that's what got Lou back involved in Notre Dame again. And it was probably one of the better moves I made, when I was at them.
Wow. I only met him once, Coach, but we've all seen the speeches for the commencement addresses, and I cannot help but think of the words of wisdom there from someone who has a statue up there at Notre Dame.
Well, my favorite Lou Holtz, and he used to say it at every speech, so I've heard it about 9,000 times. But, he always talked about, what it takes SAT-wise to get into Notre Dame. And he goes, well, when I took the job, they told me, the average SAT is 1,500 at Notre Dame. He goes, well, and they didn't accept me at Notre Dame. I got 1,500. I took it 3 times. You got 500 each time.
That's such a great line. That is such a great line.
Every time, and even though I know it's coming, every time I heard it, I start cracking up.
Which game do you prefer more right now, the NFL game or the college game, Coach?
I prefer the LSU Tigers. It was the Ole Miss Rebels. Now it's the LSU Tigers. Go Reds. Go Tigers next.
We are well versed. Connor, his son that he mentioned, played at LSU, so we are well versed with the atmosphere outside of Tiger Stadium, Coach.
Yeah, I'll be kind of interested. Like when I go as indiscriminately and anonymously as I possibly can. I try at all possible resources to be as unseen and unrecognized and unknown as I possibly can, because I want it to be about him and about them, not about me. And probably one of the best things is I lost 150 pounds. So a lot of people don't recognize me anymore, which is great. And they kind of look at me, that kind of looks like Charlie Weiss. He goes, but I can't be that. But I can't tell you, it happens to me, especially in the airport. People come up to you. Did anyone ever tell you look like a thinner Charlie Weiss? And then what I say to them is that, people tell me that all the time. I don't say it's me, and then they walk away.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Oh, goodness gracious. But just moving forward, though, do you have a Nick Saban story for me, Coach, during his time at Alabama with your son?
No, I got a better one for you than that.
Okay.
Forget about Alabama.
Okay.
All right. So Nick is working for Belichick as a defensive coordinator. It's 1991. Okay, we just won the Super Bowl. Belichick now is the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Okay, and Belichick and I were really close. At the time, my first year in the league, I was the defensive quality control coach and assistant special teams coach. So I did all the work for Belichick and all the work for the special teams coach, okay?
Yes, sir.
So Belichick goes to the Browns. He wants to hire me, okay? He wants to hire me to the Browns. He wants me to leave Parcells, who hasn't retired yet, and go to the Browns. So I'm in my hotel room at Mobile, and I get a phone call from Saban. He goes, can you come up? Can you come up to my room? Belichick wants me to interview you. I said, yeah, no problem. So I go up to his room, and he was looking for Charlie West, not Charlie White. So I walk in there, and he goes, hey, how's it going? What can I do for you? I said, well, you just called me. You asked me to come to your room. He goes, oh, I was looking for Charlie West. Sorry. I turned around and walked out.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Does he remember that? I mean, have you called him out on that since then?
I would not bring it up to him. Hey, he might not remember, but I certainly
I bet.
You want to talk about a blow to your ego. That was
So you were around those guys, and you've been around, obviously, a bunch of winners. What is the one thing they all have in common that you would try to emulate?
Well, each guy has a different quality that makes them stand out. You know, no matter whether it's Parcells, whether it's Belichick, whether it's Saban, whether it's Lane, they all have a different quality. But they're all so fiercely competitive and so team-oriented, where you could, with all four of them, you could put up a sign right now that says, check your ego out the door, and it would be true for all of them. You have to buy into it all being about the team, because if you're selfish, you're not going to last.
Wow. I mean, and here we are in 2026, where it does feel like we're in the heart of me, honestly, Coach.
Hey, I promise you, I watched Lane work at Ole Miss. There was that you'll never, and if you look at the inner workings at Ole Miss, that those guys were buy-in to the team guys. I mean, that's one of the reasons why they had so much success.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it. 2 years ago, Jackson Dart. I mean, they blow it, and they don't make the playoffs. So they're 9-3. They're playing Duke in the Gator Bowl.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart steps up. Now he's going to get drafted, and I predicted he was going in the first round, and everyone laughed at me. But it turns out I was right. But Jackson Dart stood up to all the players that were going into the draft. He goes, I'm playing in the game, and I expect you to play in the game too, because it's all about the team. And out of all those, there was only one guy that didn't play in that bowl game, in that Gator Bowl. That's why they won 100-0.
Wow.
I mean, they all played. They had nothing to gain by playing in the game, other than it was about the team. And I think that Lane has done a great job of getting these guys to buy in, being about the team. The one buy that Charlie tells me about, I said, how's it going? He goes, Dad, these guys have bought in already. He goes, they are working their butts off. Well, what more can you say at this stage? They just got there.
Yeah. But I know the expectations are immediately gigantic, though, Coach. And that's, I mean, I'm hearing it from LSU fans.
Yeah, but as a coach and a player, do you want anything less than that?
No.
You say it as a media guy. Who cares what you think? I mean, seriously, who cares? I mean, that's what every coach and every player, that's what their expectation should be.
Yeah.
If that's not your expectation, then why are you involved?
I understand. I do. And yeah, I know I'm just a media guy here, but that is awfully high expectations right out of the gate.
Time out.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Yes, sir.
using that figuratively.
Yeah.
I'm using that figuratively.
Yes, sir.
Not literally. Don't get defensive.
I love it. I love it. I think the biggest surprise of all was Coach Belichick not being a first balloter. And
that's a joke.
It is a joke.
It's an absolute joke. Whether you like him, whether you dislike him, I mean, it's a joke.
It tarnishes the Hall of Fame, in my opinion.
It actually just humiliated the whole. I've told several. I have friends that are Hall of Fame voters. I said, give me a break. I mean, you guys are a bunch of idiots. I mean, how could you do that? I mean, realistically, one of my I don't tweet that much, but I said, first Belichick doesn't make it, then Kraft doesn't make it. I go, is Tommy next? Just let me know.
Well,
I mean, tell me about it. When you have that level of success, I mean, they're the guys that go in the first ballot Hall of Fame.
That run you guys were on.
I mean, how do you win 10 Super Bowls and don't go? I mean, that's a joke. I mean,
where are your Super Bowl rings, Coach?
Charlie has Super Bowl 39. My grandson, my oldest of my three grandsons, Boston Maverick, has Super Bowl 38. My wife currently has Super Bowl 36 and Super Bowl 25, but they're both dedicated to our other two grandsons.
Wow, that's awesome.
So she can have them as long as she wants them, and then when she don't want them anymore, or when she's not around anymore, our other two grandsons, our middle grandson, Axel, he gets Super Bowl 36. And the baby, Cannon, he gets Super Bowl 25.
That's awesome right there.
I have no rings in my possession other than my wedding ring.
Wow. But I mean, Coach, that's
and it fits again. At least yours does. Mine doesn't.
Actually, mine's a little loose on me.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, when you drop $1.50, everything is kind of loose.
Yeah.
Oh, Coach, I can't tell you how much fun we've had visiting with you. Was there any part of you maybe thinking, because Monty Kiffin, defensive coordinator, to me in my head, I was like, of course, Lane's going to go offense. Was there any part of you surprised that Charlie stayed on the offense?
No, that's always been his. Ever since he was like 12 years old, that has been his niche. I helped him a little bit because when I was at Florida, he worked with wide receivers, and then I was there for 3 seasons with Kansas. And he worked with the running backs 1 year. He worked with the quarterbacks 1 year. He worked with running backs, quarterbacks, and tight ends. The only position he hasn't worked with were offensive linemen. So he's basically been exposed to all those different positions. Worked a little internship with Belichick and up in New England, where he worked with Gable and the tight ends. They had this guy Gronkowski. I don't know if you ever heard of him. But that was a good experience. But he was well exposed and ready to go. But the best thing he ever did was get away from me. So at 21 years old, I'm driving him down to Tuscaloosa in the middle of March to start as a quality control guy for Saban. I mean, he's been, he's 33, but he's been involved with major sports on his own since he was 21, and he's been involved in major sports since he was 12.
Wow. And it did look like it just from that experience of the playoffs, though, Coach, that he is as hot of a name right now as you can get if he wants that next step and be a head coach.
Well, the one thing the playoff shows, and Lane says it all the time. I mean, go back and look at what Lane says. Lane says Charlie runs the offense.
Yeah.
Charlie runs the offense.
Yeah.
Charlie calls the offense. No one believes him. No one believes him. Okay, so the one thing that happened, and I was happy for Charlie, I was happy for Ole Miss, and I was happy for Lane, because all the LSU people and all the Ole Miss people saw, hey, maybe this kid does have a clue. Maybe he's not just Lane's whipping boy. Maybe he has a clue. And I think he more than proved himself in those 3 games.
Well, if you'd like to be an announcer anytime soon, we'll.
No interest. He has no interest. Absolutely no interest.
I mean, you, Coach. I know you wanted to be an announcer right out of the gate. So we've had an absolute pleasure speaking with you, Coach. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Coach, for your time.
Sorry for boring you.
No, absolutely not.
You didn't bore us.
I know who I know who our LSU insider is right now.
It's not me, I promise you. If you think you get one word out of me,
no, sir.
You're sorely mistaken. I promise you.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time, sir.
Care. All right, bye-bye.
Charlie Weiss, Charlie's dad right there.
I'm surprised he talked to you as long as he did, seeing as how he doesn't like announcers. Did I ever tell you look like a thinner Wes Neighbors?
That was outstanding. Yeah. Charlie Weiss, who, if you think about it, with Parcells, Belichick. And that is Super Bowl rings.
I was told when Lane left, it wasn't a big deal as long as Charlie was the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
That was the big deal.
Hope y'all enjoyed that as much as we did. That's Charlie Weiss. Let's take our first time out. 256-576-4977. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, and we have amazing truck month deals right now at Lynn Layton Ford. With your good credit, get 0% financing for 60 months with 0 down, plus 0 payments for 90 days, and $1,000 bonus cash on new F-150s. That's 0 for 60, 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, plus $1,000 bonus cash on new 25 F-150s. Save up to $5,000 off MSRP on 25 Rangers, $5,000 off on Ranger. Save up to $10,000 off MSRP on remaining new 2025 Explorers, up to $10,000 off. We've got new Maverick hybrids starting at under $28,000. That's right, new 25 Maverick hybrids are truck month priced from just $27,840, and you'll never be asked to pay any hidden markups or dock fees. Come see us while supplies last by March 31st. We hope to see you real soon at Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com.
Basketball fans, get ready as the Conference USA Basketball Tournament is set to return to the Rocket City and Probst Arena March 10th through 14th, featuring 20 men's and women's basketball teams playing 18 games with Conference USA titles and NCAA automatic bids on the line. It's 5 days of exciting hoops action at BBC Probst Arena. Jump into the action by getting your tickets now by visiting Ticketmaster.com. And we'll see you inside the BBC March 10th through the 14th. Come find out who will be putting on their dancing shoes.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943. Member FDIC.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
For 50 years, our mission, do the right thing and make long-term decisions. We value our customers, and we invest in supporting you. We use our own technologies to automate, to provide you the best support possible. And we have the strongest guarantees in the industry. I just can't tell you I'm going to provide you great support. I have to prove it to you with my actions.
Eat, drink, compete. Welcome to Field Day, Huntsville's go-to spot where every day feels like a win. Catch the big game or create your own with chef-driven bites, craft cocktails, self-serve beer, and games that keep the fun going. And don't miss happy hour. 50% off drafts and appetizers, plus $5 margaritas and wells. Life's better when you play, so grab your friends and make it a win at Field Day, University Drive, Huntsville.
Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Oh, give me a T for Texas. Give me a T for Tennessee.
Back here with you on the drive. It's really cool when you get a new guest and all of a sudden he just called me out of the blue. I mean, technically I gave him my telephone number, but he called me out of the...
He called you.
Yeah, then he called me and was like, yeah, we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. But I think he enjoyed it as much, I hope, as much as we did. But I mean, to think about the life of Charlie Weiss, who wanted to be an announcer, graduating Notre Dame, then took a job because the job that he was offered, I'm telling you, you got to want to be in this business because so my first real gig in this world, I remember the people at WSB offering me a job and they thought it was neat. The fact that they're AM 750, by the way, and they offered me $7.50 an hour. Isn't that neat? You're getting $7.50 an hour.
Well, that was probably 14 now.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, by the way, Kalen DeBoer spoke to the media today. You know, that whole Alabama football thing is still going on in Tuscaloosa, and Coach DeBoer now talking about another level. What's his new name is it Ryan Coleman Williams now? I believe that's right, but now Ryan Williams is one of the leaders that he is talking about to the media in the wide receiver room.
Well, Ryan, you maybe we can find someone, but just off the top of my head, he's probably played as many snaps as anyone on our offense. And, that's, again, the turnover that speaks to that. But, he's taken that on. He's taken on a leadership role. And in order to lead and be vocal like he has, and it's in him. And he just brings an energy and enthusiasm that you guys all see. It's nonstop. But in order to do that, you have to do the work. And he's always done the work. And I really feel like he's seeing an opportunity. He continues to raise the work, raise the level that and be efficient in it. Because, he's always worked. But I think where he's focusing that attention, it's really intentional. And so it's great to see his leadership capabilities. Last year, I really felt like he took a great step, and now it's on another level. And so our team needs that. Our offense needs that.
And Coach did mention the Wolf spot as well in today's press conference.
Yeah, I think the Bandit and Wolf, that gets you up about position flex. We talked about offensive line. I think there's some guys actually at the Bandit Wolf spot. Yanze, you guys will see when you see him. Maybe you've seen him out in public, but he's built himself up and continues to get better. I think he's got some position flex now, which is going to allow guys like Justin Hill, and different combinations, personnel packaging on the field. Dez coming in. I mean, I know I'm going to miss some guys, even DT, Devin being able to play inside and outside. So it isn't always just Wolf Bandit, but those guys. Those guys have body types and skill sets that I think are going to allow our defensive staff to have fun, but put them in positions to go cut it loose and get after people.
The offensive line. Oh, the offensive line.
Let me just say, Yanze Pierre,
please.
I'd be surprised if he's not a number one pick next year. If he's not first team All-American, I'd be shocked. It'll take injury to keep that from happening. He's special.
Well, a big point of contention off of last year's team was the O-line. And now you got a new O-line coach, a lot of new pieces out of the portal. Coach DeBoer.
Yeah, you're going to try to keep them homed in on one spot. You're right. There is some versatility with a number of guys. That's nice, but you also don't want to get fallen into the trap where you're moving guys around. And now that continuity, that familiarity that I'm talking about, it's something that, you don't see. And now you're not making the strides you want. So try to get guys in spots, try to keep it consistent here, we'll see as the weeks go on, and some of it's determined by health. We're in a good spot right now, but some of it's determined as you go through spring practices, just like in the fall. So, like where we're at, kind of got a couple lineups with guys playing spots that they can kind of get a rhythm, be comfortable playing next to each other with.
And finally, before we head off to our final break of this first hour, A-Day might actually look like A-Day this year.
Yeah, I mean, we always want to scrimmage and have a great spring game. Last year, we just had two position groups in particular, but just we wouldn't have been able to put on a good show. We needed to get something out of the practices. Unfortunately, that was where we were at a year ago. I think we're in a different spot this year. We really haven't talked about it as a team. We're just focused on what's next. But, we'd love to get out there and have some fun, practice and get better and scrimmage. That's kind of the expectation that we have for that day. Hopefully nothing crazy happens, but that's what I would expect for A-Day.
So they're talking high on the NC State wide receiver transfer.
Really?
He's showing big things, and the Crowell's the talk of everybody. So yeah, 215 can fly. So we'll see. You still got to be able to pass block. There's a lot of things you got to be able to do. But it looks like the last year the running back room wasn't what it needed to be, and they think they're making strides down there with the running back room. So that'll be important for them to make the playoffs. I mean, that's has to be the goal every year, to make the playoffs. And a lot of people don't think this team will make the playoffs, and
people that are making absolutions this time of year.
I mean, my bet is that they do. But I got to go to some scrimmages.
They made the playoffs last year.
Yes,
I mean,
and really, I think it was made it the year before too. But
young team. And I know some important positions are gone.
Yeah, there are, and I think they have two guys that can win at quarterback. I do believe that.
It's helpful.
But can they win at the levels they need to live with? I don't think you can. We can't go this year and depend on the quarterback to win the game, every game, and not be able to run the ball. Running the ball will be if they can't run the ball this year, they won't make the playoffs.
That's a little bit Kalen DeBoer. He'd also mentioned a few other things, but we do need to take our final timeout here in hour number one. We will join in progress. By the way, the coverage just started over on Talk Radio WZZN. Yes, it did. I see the meters bouncing over there. I looked over there just to make sure I wasn't telling another fib. The CAA, I know it used to be the Colonial Athletic, but I think they changed their name. The CAA Championship, and that'll be followed by West Coast Conference. Of course, that is the Gonzaga Invitational. If Gonzaga wins it tonight, as everybody is expecting, it would be their 28th automatic selection into the big dance. Let's take our final time out here in hour number one. If you'd like to join us, feel free to do so on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline at 256-576-4977.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Lynn Leighton Ford, located online at lynnleightonford.com.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, and we have amazing truck month deals right now at Lynn Leighton Ford. With your good credit, get 0% financing for 60 months with zero down, plus zero payments for 90 days, and $1,000 bonus cash on new F-150s. That's 0 for 60, 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, plus $1,000 bonus cash on new 25 F-150s. Save up to $5,000 off MSRP on 25 Rangers, $5,000 off on Ranger. Save up to $10,000 off MSRP on remaining new 2025 Explorers, up to $10,000 off. We've got new Maverick hybrids starting at under $28,000. That's right, new 25 Maverick hybrids are truck month priced from just $27,840, and you'll never be asked to pay any hidden markups or dock fees. Come see us while supplies last by March 31st. We hope to see you real soon at Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loaders from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Thompson Tractor knows how much value you place on your customer satisfaction. It's how you build your business. It's also how we build ours. Since 1957, hardworking folks like you have counted on Thompson to provide the absolute best lineup of equipment in the industry, all backed by a customer service and product support team that time and again have proven to be second to none. It's all about maintaining peak performance. Always has been, always will be. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. We stay warm as we head into the overnight. Temperatures only dropping into the mid and upper 60s. A mostly cloudy sky as we head into your Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s, lower 80s. Another opportunity for some strong and severe thunderstorms Wednesday evening as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday morning.
Your Fox 54 weather. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
More exciting than breakfast and a lot more enjoyable to cook, brunch is ideal for sharing.
Brunch with the Big Dog, the Tom Abraham Show. Weekdays starting at 10 on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Earlier today, it was over at the VBC, and I'm telling you, it's the third year in a row that we're hosting the Conference USA men's and women's basketball tournament. You can definitely tell they know what they're doing. It is just it's just a fine-tuned machine over there.
There you go.
And also got to see Mike Paris.
Oh, good.
The voice of the Gamecocks. They're in action.
Trying to nail him down for anything other than a ball game. He and I have been trying for the 3 years here.
Yeah.
We try to meet up and have lunch on the day he has a game here.
To his defense,
and he comes in on two wheels. He does the game and leaves.
He came in at 12:45 for a 2:00 women's game. All of a sudden, the women's coach is coming up over my left shoulder saying, hey, Mike, when are we going to do this thing? Like, I know what he's trying to, because he's his own engineer too.
Right.
Got to be that one man
Has been
band.
for years, man.
Yes, he is. You got New Mexico State and Jacksonville State coming up tonight. And on the men's side, about to tip it up. In fact, it should be underway. Let me go ahead and crank up the stats monitor here. Between 8-seed FIU and 9-seed Missouri State. And the stat monitor is taking a minute. It's 18-14 in favor of the Panthers of FIU. It'd be 18-16 now as FIU leads it over Missouri State. You can check out all the action. Two teams that will get that ticket, that coveted ticket into the NCAA Big Dance, will be earned right here in Huntsville, Alabama. And also announcing a partnership for 3 more years of Conference USA, the basketball tournament, and they're also getting the cross-country championships this year and in 28. So it's just in terms of footprint-wise, this is a fairly central-ish location for Conference USA.
You know, on our sister station, Talk Radio WZZN, we interviewed Mark Russell, and he has a lot of things that they have been working for just for years that are coming to fruition now. And the Huntsville Sports Commission is really making it work for Huntsville. It is fantastic.
Unbelievable job Mark Russell's done, starting that from scratch and getting where it is now.
Now, there is one omission that they are forgetting.
Yeah.
There's a trophy in the studio here. That's technically not ours.
Right.
So one of these,
I just can't believe you moved it for that pig trophy you used to have in here.
It's over in the office. It's over. And
Did you get the coveted Silver Saw Award?
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And Northeast Ohio Pork Producers Association?
It was at the Whistle Stop Festival, and it was myself and Tom Perkins.
Oh, there you go.
With TOC.
Okay.
We won it. Tom gave me the trophy, and I was like, sure, I'll display it.
Absolutely. Adds to the ambiance of the office over there.
It really does.
It really ties the room together.
It does. It does.
So, kind of like the rug.
All right, dude.
I'm just going to go over here and abide.
I hear they're coming out with another one of those movies.
Why?
I don't
Did they lose all the copies of the other one?
I don't know. I really don't know. There is some news coming out of Nashville, Tennessee. That's where the SEC men's the women's basketball tournament was in Greenville, South Carolina last week. The men are in Nashville. Well, the president of Mississippi State, Mark Keenum, said that all of the presidents and chancellors are meeting this week in Nashville with the hopes to establish some real rules and guidance for the rest of the league and others, assuming Congress cannot establish federal legislation quickly enough on NIL.
Well, you know, the president of the United States met with them last week, so maybe they're working on it.
Well, there's nothing the presidents of the universities can do that won't get struck down. Nothing with NIL.
The time to fix this was several years ago.
Yes. Well,
before they let it run away.
Right, 100%. But I think they'll, I think what'll happen will be the president will come up with executive order
by Friday.
Yeah, then somebody will sue and they'll take it to court. At least that gets it started again, and hopefully they can win in court.
Fake news. Sorry. Yeah.
That's the point from 2 to 4.
With Bill Crawford.
With Bill Crawford.
97.7
That's right. That's right.
In full high definition stereo.
Right now you're getting the CAA championship game.
In full high definition
That's
stereo.
right. This is high definition right here too.
Yeah.
I don't know if it
Live
is on
and in
YouTube, but we're giving it a go. 1 hour in the books.
Here comes the worldwide leader.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, and we have amazing truck month deals right now at Lynn Layton Ford. With your good credit, get 0% financing for 60 months with 0 down, plus 0 payments for 90 days, and $1,000 bonus cash on new F-150s. That's 0 for 60, 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, plus $1,000 bonus cash on new 25 F-150s. Save up to $5,000 off MSRP on 25 Rangers, $5,000 off on Ranger. Save up to $10,000 off MSRP on remaining new 2025 Explorers, up to $10,000 off. We've got new Maverick hybrids starting at under $28,000. That's right, new 25 Maverick hybrids are truck month priced from just $27,840, and you'll never be asked to pay any hidden markups or dock fees. Come see us while supplies last by March 31st. We hope to see you real soon at Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Jets found their next starting quarterback, and he is one of their former starters. They agreed to acquire Geno Smith from the Raiders for a late pick round swap in next month's NFL draft. He was New York's starting quarterback from 2013 to the 2015 preseason until he suffered a broken jaw after being punched by a teammate in a locker room dispute. As free agency rolls on, the Patriots added to their receiver room, agreeing to a 4-year, $80 million contract with Romeo Doubs. He will help fill the void left by the impending release of Stephon Diggs. Lions have a deal with Isaiah Pacheco, giving themselves a new running back to pair with Jahmyr Gibbs. Pacheco picking Detroit for a couple of reasons, explains ESPN NFL insider Jeremy Fowler.
Isaiah Pacheco is looking forward to resetting his career because his last 2 years at Kansas City had a lot of injuries. But if you remember that Super Bowl run, he was all about it, getting 20-plus carries. He wants to get back to that. So it really was more about fit than money for him. He gets the opportunity to tote that rock next to Jahmyr Gibbs as that sort of number 2. They love to play in the running game off of play action. It's going to be perfect for him.
On the Pat McAfee Show today, Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce revealed the support of his fiancée, Taylor Swift, was one of the biggest influences in continuing his NFL career. 2026 will be Kelce's 14th season in Kansas City. Duke starting guard Caleb Foster out indefinitely because of a fractured right foot. Hasn't been ruled out the rest of the season by Coach John Shire. His absence means the Blue Devils likely use freshman Caden Boozer in an elevated role. Duke plays either Florida State or Cal in the ACC tournament quarters Thursday, 7 Eastern, ESPN Radio and ESPN.
Hey, it's resident Super Bowl champ Chris Candy. Coming up Wednesday, I'll give you my winners and losers from free agency so far. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
.97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Well, this time tomorrow, you're getting SEC basketball. It'll be well underway. The day session begins at 11:15 tomorrow morning. The evening session starts at 11:45. I will be out of the box tomorrow afternoon. I'm thinking about this out loud. I'm still coming in here for Scott tomorrow morning. So still not done. You'll get plenty of Drew DeArmond coming up tomorrow as Drew.
You're still a two-sport athlete.
As Drew will fill in for me during this time, but we'll already be done by this time because we're only going from 5 to 5:45 tomorrow.
And Wes Neighbors as himself.
Yes, I'll be impersonating myself tomorrow.
How about
tell you look like a thinner Wes Neighbors?
For those that did not get that joke,
you may hear that enough.
Paydays next week. Do you ever tell you?
Had a fantastic conversation an hour ago with Charlie Weiss Charlie's dad, has quite a career for Coach Weiss and kind of chronicling a little bit of that Ole Miss run and the fact that it was magical. But hearing also him speak about that Division II kid in camp doesn't make me think it was an accident, and it wasn't. Of certainly what you see in practice spilled over onto the playing field.
It's going to be
a big way.
It's going to be interesting to see how. The
NCAA is actually filing a.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. Though.
Okay,
I'm talking about the guy who left, who was the starter and went to Missouri.
That's right. Yeah,
and he'll be the starter.
Austin Simmons.
Austin Simmons. I want to call him Austin Mack. He's at Alabama. So. Yeah. Anyway, that's going to be interesting.
How about a defensive coordinator for $3.85 million? Well, are you interested in a defensive coordinator for $3.85 million?
Do you know how much cheaper I could do that, John?
Well, that's the going price for Matt Patricia at The Ohio State University.
And I would still be overpriced.
He is the highest paid assistant in the country. And that number is actually going to jump up in year 3, but $3.85 million.
So how much is Charlie Weiss Jr. making?
That's a good question. What do you think?
I think it's over $1 million.
Clearly, maybe $2 million.
Oh, you have to look.
I am typing it up as we speak. 2.5. 2.5.
That's crazy.
And all I can think about is the governor of Louisiana and what he said.
Yeah, well, I mean, he didn't get a vote.
No. And it sounds like they'll be raising ticket prices.
Oh, yeah. They're going to have to. There's no question.
Oh, goodness. It's also a big year for Kalen DeBoer, year number 3. And he opened it up, and he was pretty candid out of the gate of also who's not playing who's not practicing this spring in Tuscaloosa.
Time of the year where it's all about the work, and guys did that, in the weight room a good 7 weeks and get on the football field, what they love to do. So we'll still, every other day be hitting the weights and making sure our conditioning's good, but 2 practices in already. So there's some guys that are still limited or out, really going back to the season. So nothing new that's happened in practice the first couple of days. Who you got? You got Zebo Latham, will be out for the spring. You got Bray will be limited contact, just coming off of stuff from the fall. London Simmons will be out for the spring. Will Sanders will be out for the spring.
That's a little bit of who's not playing.
Yeah, well, Bray Hubbard doesn't need to practice. I mean,
you know what you got.
Yeah, exactly. I went hunting with him and his dad. And
really?
Yeah. What a nice kid he is. What it just was awesome. I was hunting with Wesley as well and his kids and Ryan, my other son, and try to keep Wesley away from Bray. They weren't allowed to talk.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty good.
Yeah. But it was just fun to see. And you see how he plays and how he acts, and you meet his dad, and then you know why. I mean, just that apple didn't fall far from the tree.
It's time for that next step, though, program-wise. Coach DeBoer.
I think there's a couple pieces. One, you got to make sure that you continue to maintain the strengths of who you were. 2 years ago, and I don't think we were necessarily undisciplined. There was just a lot of moving pieces, and a lot of guys probably overthinking a step slow, and now you get a holding call or defensive pass interference. But we went from one of the bottom teams in the league penalty wise to the best. And so that's got to stay a strength, turnover margin, it still cost us at times, and the games we lost, there were turnovers, and losing that, was critical. But we didn't have the peaks and the valleys like we did the year before. And so I think we ended up 4th in the conference in turnover margin. We can still be better there. We have to be better, but we made a lot of strides. Great in the critical moments, end of the half, end of the game. A lot of games were swung at the end of the first half. A lot of games were won with our guys executing, playing fast. That's a trust and a belief. So you got to make sure those strengths are there. Execution, especially when it comes to up front and being able to run the football. I mean, I don't think there's any secret about that. We got to do a better job there. That's going to open up the rest of our offense. Defensively, we dropped a little bit in our takeaways. We still did a good job. I think we created more pressure. We want to take the next steps in that area where we can get even more pressure on the quarterback and maybe do it without having to dial up blitzes as much, and guys just winning because of their technique, because of their understanding and trust that, they got guys on the other side that are, and guys that push up the middle that can be generated to put pressure on a quarterback. Special teams is an area where we had a lot of turnover with our specialists in particular, but also the guys that were making tackles and making blocks from year 1 to year 2, 24 to 25. A lot of new faces in those areas. And so some more familiarity with guys who are out there, not just the specialists, but also the guys got to go down and cover. The guys, I think in our return games, it's an area we can definitely improve on. We had some one-off punt return and a kick return. I think about Wisconsin. I think about Oklahoma, where there was a punt return and a kick return where we fell short. We were pretty solid other than that, but it's those one plays here and there that we can't give up. So just taking those next steps in all those areas, making sure that our strengths are what they are, is kind of what you're honing in on and making sure you never take anything for granted.
And as Coach DeBoer earlier today down in Tuscaloosa, as I believe this was practice 3, if I'm not mistaken. Total of 15 practices in the springtime. How many practices did you have back in the day?
Well, 300. We had 20, but we had 34. I think my senior year when we turned her. Mm-hmm. Bill Condon was going to turn her 7. That was our last practice. Well, what would happen was it would it'd be raining, and we'd go in the gym and we'd have our pads on, and they didn't count that. Or it started raining, and we'd be like halfway through practice, we'd come inside. They didn't count that. That didn't count that. That was
doesn't count.
Rain out, yeah. So yeah,
nice.
Yeah, that was. I think it might have been 32. I might be exaggerating a little bit. It's just 32, I think.
Just 32?
Yeah. So
just double what the going rate is today?
What today, yeah. It's a little over double, but yeah.
I know.
I don't think they practice enough. The spring especially. And, I don't know if the 15 are just all padded practices and they can have 5 more. I don't know what all the rules are. I know used to you would have days you would just be in shorts and what we called shells, which was shoulder pads and helmets, no pants. But that could get rough. I'd rather just put on. I used to coaches.
So it's a maximum of 15 spring practices within a 34-day period.
Yeah. Because they could get. I mean, you'll have
no more than 12 can involve contact, with only 8 allowed to feature full tackling. 8.
That's ridiculous.
The number is 8.
I think that's ridiculous. But we can play 20 games.
Oh, yeah.
That's the stupidest thing ever. I mean, you think about it. It's just so. I don't know. It's crazy.
Well, it's the health and safety.
Oh, it's all about health and safety. And Coach Saban had, and I've been saying it. What happened to us? We had gotten the sport to where the academics were being taken care of, which wasn't always the case.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just going to be. These kids are going. It's going to be awful.
So if
They're not going to have.
There's no way we can go back.
There's a way you can figure out some incentive to get these guys to graduate, or give them. I'm sure. The problem is you got kids that go to 4 different schools. Who's going to take care of that kid? Nobody.
So do I need to start playing this on a loop now?
Yeah, the answer is no. It was settled because it was, I think, the third
Why didn't
case.
somebody appeal it?
The prior case, which is Alston versus the NCAA, was appealed to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court found 9-0 against the college position to defend the old system. So that's, I think the answer is the antitrust piece is the inherent problem in trying to create caps and limits. That's it.
So the Supreme Court was responsible for this?
I'm not the one who's going to say that. I'm not bold enough to say that, but I'll at least acknowledge the process.
9-0. 9-0. Was the Supreme Court responsible for this?
9-0 and Kavanaugh supported.
That's a shame.
Crazy.
Here we are.
Yes.
Here we are.
Here we are.
All right, let's take a timeout here. Right here, final call for phone calls. Come up on the other side. Coach DeBoer wants you to live in a room that kind of resembles a little bit. Did you ever see the movie Being John Malkovich? Did you ever see that movie?
No.
There was it's the 7.5 floor that's in between the 7th floor and the 8th floor. Coach, I'll explain a little bit better.
Let me tell you, the entire dialogue for the last third of the movie is Malkovich.
Yeah.
That's it.
I found it a very different movie, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that movie. But Coach DeBoer wants this Alabama football team to resemble the 7.5 floor in Being John Malkovich. I'll explain further after our final timeout and a final call for phone calls.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Basketball fans, get ready as the Conference USA Basketball Tournament is set to return to the Rocket City and Probst Arena March 10th through 14th, featuring 20 men's and women's basketball teams playing 18 games with Conference USA titles and NCAA automatic bids on the line. It's 5 days of exciting hoops action at BBC Probst Arena. Jump into the action by getting your tickets now by visiting Ticketmaster.com. And we'll see you inside the BBC March 10th through the 14th. Come find out who will be putting on their dancing shoes.
It's softball time in Alabama, and the best place for your travel softball team is to play with USSSA Softball. Not only for the best travel team tournaments, but for recreational softball tournaments all around the area, as well for your high school level softball team. Plus, the USSSA National Championship this year is at the Gulf Shore and Orange Beach and the Foley Softball Complex. Now, for more information, visit alfastpitch.uSSSA.com. That's alfastpitch.uSSSA.com.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, and we have amazing truck month deals right now at Lynn Layton Ford. With your good credit, get 0% financing for 60 months with 0 down, plus 0 payments for 90 days, and $1,000 bonus cash on new F-150s. That's 0 for 60, 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, plus $1,000 bonus cash on new 25 F-150s. Save up to $5,000 off MSRP on 25 Rangers, $5,000 off on Ranger. Save up to $10,000 off MSRP on remaining new 2025 Explorers, up to $10,000 off. We've got new Maverick hybrids starting at under $28,000. That's right, new 25 Maverick hybrids are truck month priced from just $27,840, and you'll never be asked to pay any hidden markups or dock fees. Come see us while supplies last by March 31st. We hope to see you real soon at Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com.
Our customers want best-in-class solutions. That's why we've recently added many new vendors like Zebra barcode printers. Our next level team has added premier automation solutions. We're not here to sell you just one product, and we love helping you find the right solution to your specific need. That's what doing the right thing is all about, and that's why our customers have come back for over 50 years.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
March Madness. Best sporting event on earth. Better than the Super Bowl, World Series. Better than the World Cup. Missed free throws. That's what kills you.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We usually have a little pregame sponsor here over the last handful of months. I try to do a little pregame sponsor. Today's is Donato's Pizza.
A fine choice, by the way.
It was the chicken, barbecue chicken. And,
one of my absolute
And it's
favorites.
got a little bit of a kick on it, too.
It does.
And it's darn good. And all you got to do is head over to our website. Would you like to venture a guess? I did a pizza and a couple of drinks. How much that cost me?
Oh, way less than it should have.
Yes. A grand total of $1.78.
Look at you.
I mean, that's it. So head
Some
over.
deals could do that for you too.
Head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. Click on the Big Zone deals. Today, Donato's Pizza. This is my favorite pizza right now. I mean, I'm telling you, it's got a sweet heat kind of deal. It kicks you, but not a mule kick. I mean, it doesn't kick you that much. I did get a message during the break. I was waiting to hear from Sonny Smith's wife before, and just to let folks know, I did reach out to Sonny to try to get him on today. Turns out he's in the hospital. Sonny Smith is in the hospital and has been in the hospital for almost a week now. And he is not doing great right now, and I talked to Sonny's wife right before we started the show, and I can hear the concern in her voice as well, but wanted to make sure it was okay to say to folks out there that prayers to Coach Sonny Smith, and hope Sonny gets home very, very soon. So it's he is just an incredible human being, but just always made time for us here on the program, and great insight as always. But yes, please, if you can spare a thought there and a prayer for Sonny Smith, I know he would appreciate that. Just wanted to pass along that. Well, I mentioned the movie Being John Malkovich. So the 7.5 floor had ceilings and floors that were just like you had to crunch over. And I think that's what Kalen DeBoer is wanting to do to the Alabama football team. Not live in that kind of space, but to have that kind of talent where the ceiling and the floor are very close to each other.
You know, the scholarship I think you're referring to, it was 85 limit. Now there's more. And so, you know, you're trying to build an overall roster, right? Because you got to practice. It isn't just about the high end guys that are on the football field making plays. It's guys that can compete and be ready when their number's called, can push those guys, but also you got to build you're always trying to bring up your floor too. And whether that's young guys or new guys or just guys that raising your level, it makes your program better altogether. And so I think there's been a really good job by our staff of continuing to not just look at the starters and try to increase and improve there, but also our bottom part of our roster and trying to bring that up to lift our entire team. So I appreciate what our staff's done, not just focused on the stars and the guys that have transferred in, those ones, but also those 2s and 3s and walk-ons are a huge part of what we do, whether it's practice reps and looks and scouts, or just the culture of your program. And so really proud of these guys that have stayed. They're proud of the guys that have come in and, been fighting. They make up, that's what makes a great football team.
So the higher you raise your floor, the better your team overall can be, of everybody lifting the level of the standard moving forward. That's what I got out of Kalen DeBoer of, this is year 3. It's an important year.
Well, they're all important, especially when you're at Alabama. And I think the key to me is going to be moving forward. If the rules stay close to where they are, and who knows what they'll be, but you're going to have to kind of do what some of these other teams are doing. You have you got to use the portal. You got to use the portal more than they're using it. I think your class has to be every year 25% portal.
Minimum.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have 10, 15 guys that are going to come in and it's older guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Ohio State did when they won it, right? That's what obviously Indiana did last year.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So, there's a senior lady team, Alabama got beat in overtime. So, it's by Michigan who won it that year.
That's right.
So the last 3 years, a lot of these games have been close games. It's not like the SEC's just totally out of it. Like they
you know what we need to do? We need to add another conference game. That's what we need to do.
That was a stupid.
We need to add another conference game.
They'll look back, I believe, and that was a huge error.
I really want to disagree with you, but I completely agree. I know Shorten, I know they're getting more dollars out of Mickey Mouse. I know they're getting more money out of that deal. But boy, oh boy.
I don't.
At what cost?
Yeah, I'm not sure that in the end that it'll be that the right thing that they should have done. But I don't think there's any. I'd like to know, because they're never talked about it in the press. But I mean, I'd like to sit down and actually see what's the difference going to be, and then how much they actually, for each team they get in, how much money does that mean for the conference? What the difference will be?
I think I remember reading, just as a conference as a whole, that it's going from 700 and change to 900 and change million.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see what the difference is when you get teams in versus not in payout. So, and to me, if the conference is not doing as good, will the next contract be?
I think this contract goes till 32. I think. Well, I want to say 2032.
I don't think so. I think that they have one the one that just is coming up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They haven't signed it yet.
Have they not?
I don't think so.
I'll look into that. I thought that was, but maybe I'm wrong. I'll look into that. But tell you what, it'll be time for some basketball right now. So let's do that. Let's take our final timeout, and we'll join in progress the CAA championship game, and that'll be followed by the WCC championship game. So you get some college basketball here on championship week, and then tomorrow the SEC tournament starts at 11:15. It's a big day for the Auburn basketball team tomorrow. They have got to beat Mississippi State tomorrow.
Truthfully, if they don't beat Mississippi State, they don't do it.
Right now, Joe Lunardi has Auburn among the first 4 teams out.
That's not good. They need to win some games.
Yes, they do. A big thank you to Coach Charlie Weiss for joining us. Thank you for joining us as well. Drew and Wes will be here tomorrow, but I'll be here tomorrow morning, bright and early, in for Scott Tyson. Have a good night.